Hello, this is it. This is the big one. I'm going to reveal my team, my big team reveal. I'm not like these content creators who, for the last 2 weeks, have had a draft up every single day and they've got the same 12 players in their team the previous day. And got a little tweak here and there. Oh, look at my latest draft. No, one draft is all you need. And I'm just going to give you my draft, my final draft. I say final. There might be a few changes if some players go above or below the 5%, 5% threshold, because it does make a difference. It does make a difference for certain players, depending on the matchup. First of all, I'm going to advertise my league. It's free to enter, don't you know? Because there's no prizes. So join the league if you want to. Now, we're going to talk about the actual players that I have picked. And I'm not the person who's going to give you a load of waffle about how, oh, you've got to pick this guy because as soon as he puts on the national team's jersey, he's a different player, and pick this guy because he scored 2 goals in qualifying for some reason. No, I'm going to show you the numbers because it's a numbers game, isn't it? Fantasy football, it's a numbers game. Lucky for you, you're watching the guy with the best numbers in the business. I've created a model, and this is the results of the model. It's not as accurate as the usual method of how I do a model, but still my rough effort of a model is better than everybody else's best efforts. When you've got a master's in analysing data, you know what you're doing, and you can refer to other models as a technical term, fucking shit. So let's just get into it, eh? Let's get into it. So goals, assists, clean sheets, it takes into account players who are above or below the 5% threshold. Mentioned in a previous video, I'm doing the standard wildcard 3 strategy. It is the best strategy. I do think in the later rounds there's going to be more shocks, but if you're setting aside the wildcard for later in the tournament, you're missing out on a lot of points in match day 3. You sort of, you've committed to that. But if you wildcard in match day 3, you might not get those shocks later on in the tournament, which you would feel the benefit of having a wildcard. Running the numbers, you need to have like 5.5 hits for it to be worthwhile. Just on like expected points. So wildcard 3 is the best value, the best course of action. I filtered this by the expected points in game weeks 1 and 2. Because that's what I'm building the team for. Obviously, I'm wildcarding in match day 3. It's going to be like a 3 hit. We'll start off with the goalkeepers. As of right now, I'm going for Vargas for Colombia. He is he should stay in the threshold. Galindez is in a lot of teams. He is very close to reaching the threshold. And to give you an example of how much difference it makes, this is Galindez under the threshold, but if he was to go above the threshold, so if he was above 4.9%, and just see how far he falls. These numbers here falling down to these numbers here. It is quite a difference, isn't it? He goes from being like the second best player across the first 2 match days to, middle of the pack. I think he's going to go above the threshold. So if he goes above the threshold, he won't be in my team. I don't think Rangel will make it for Mexico. So it might be old Crepeau, Canada's goalkeeper. I might have a Canadian in my team. I know. Funny old world, isn't it? Defenders. The absolute obvious pick for defense, Kimmich. It's just obvious, isn't it? My model absolutely loves him, even though he's nowhere near the threshold. He might be on pens. Very good chance of a clean sheet. Very good chance of getting an assist. And obviously you want him for the first match day. Germany got the great game against Curacao. I looked up how to pronounce Curacao before making this video. Curacao. Absolutely want to target that one. Tricky game against Ivory Coast and tricky game against Ecuador. Obviously Germany. Very good team. as well as Kimmich. Model does like centre-backs, Schlotterbeck and Jonathan Tah, who are currently under the threshold. It's, if I'm just going to bring in midfielders to show you, you need 3 Germany players. And if we filter on match day 1, highest to lowest, there's Kimmich right at the top. But here you can see, got the Germany players here. So you might think, well, why don't I go for Germany defence? These are the expected numbers, expected points. It doesn't show you the distribution of the scores. Obviously, the defenders very likely to get a clean sheet. They've got a high floor but a low ceiling, whereas the midfielders have got a much higher ceiling, which is why, looking ahead, I'm going to have Wirtz and Musiala in my team. But going back to defenders, Vidmar, I think that's how you say his name, Sylvain Vidmar, Swiss attacking fullback. The model loves him. Switzerland, I've got 2 good fixtures to start. Let's have a look at them. Qatar and Bosnia. Bosnia have got a tough trip, as my ex-followers will know if they follow the post about the tricky trips some teams have. But Switzerland, that is such a great fixture. If you look at the clean sheet percentage, 64% chance of a clean sheet, which is why Swiss players are coming up great. So I've got Vidmar. I love him. Look at that percentage. 1.7% of fantasy managers know what they're doing, or they've clicked the wrong button, or they're immediate family members of Sylvain. Obviously, after I've made this video, that number will go up marginally, but got to have them in my team. Not bothering with the Germans. I've got other Germans in my team, and I do like to double up. Short form format, you need to take some big swings. I'm bringing in Nico Elvedi from Switzerland, and I've got the Colombian goalkeeper, so I'm bringing in another Colombian. So I was planning to double up on Colombia in defence and double up on Switzerland. And looking through the list, there was no standout options really for my 5th defender. I do like Laporte, but he is close to going above the threshold. And for a defender, he's expensive. You are better off putting your money in the midfield and forward slots, obviously. So I was thinking what to do, and it just came to me. I just remembered I've got huge balls. I've got huge balls. It's the reason why my fantasy football teams, their home stadium is called the Stadio Grandi Testacoli. These balls are being made for fantasy football, and I make some big, bold decisions. So I am tripling up on the Swiss defence. I'm bringing in Ricardo Rodriguez. He's the other fullback for Switzerland, and low percentages. So yeah, so in defence, I'm going to have double Colombia, 3 Switzerland, and a German. Have I missed anybody else? And probably the Canadian goalkeeper. Moving on to midfield, and I mentioned I've got the two Germans, Wirtz and Musiala. I think, yeah, I don't have to explain that. Bruno Fernandes, was he the best point scorer in FPL? I think he was. FPL seems like ages ago, doesn't it? Yeah, you've just got to get him in your team. Great player. I could waffle on. Oh, he just when he puts the Portugal shirt on, he just gives them a bit of extra motivation, and he always does well for Portugal. And he's really targeting. Nah, just get him in your team. The numbers, big numbers, get him in your team. That's all you need to know about that. I have actually. Let's go back to. I haven't reset the filter. The sort. There we go. Oh, because Sabitzer was coming up high. Let's talk about Sabitzer now. I've mentioned his name. Let's scroll down a bit. There he is there. I do like him for the first game, not the second one. I've seen him in a few teams. Looking at the fixtures, go to win percentage. Sabitzer is for Austria, and move him up. So there, Jordan in the first game, great fixture. Yep, target him for that, but you do not want him for Argentina after that, do you? No, sirree. No, thank you. So I've got Wirtz in my team. I've got Musiala in my team. I currently have Pulisic in my team. Obviously, you're not a casual manager, so you know that home nations at the World Cup usually do very well. Pulisic is their talisman. He's on pens. I do have a worry that he can't stay fit for very long. He is cheap though. I would like him a bit more if he fell. So hang on, if you're just joining this video now, get Pulisic out of your team. He's a complete donkey. Captain America? I don't think so. Anyway, do like Rafinha, as do 22% of the managers. Great price point as well. Vinny Jr. is not in my team because I have decided, penciled in, get your permanent marker ready to put him as my game week 2 12th man. Looking at the fixtures, not great for match day 1, but that match day 2, look at that. Look at that big number right there. If that doesn't get you excited, then what will? Looking at the fixtures again, it's hard to remember all the fixtures offhand because there's so many teams. Brazil, Morocco, tricky game in the first up, but Haiti in the second game. That's the one that you've got to target at the risk of stating the obvious. Another reason why Vinny Jr. is going to be my 12th man in match day 2, just thinking about team structure. He's 10 million for a midfielder. That's quite expensive. I'm not bringing in Yamal. Certainly not match day 1 because he's not fit. I don't think he's going to play many minutes in the first game. Probably not in the second game as well. They've got easy games. They want to ease them back. They're not going to win the World Cup in the first 2 games, are they? 2 training ground games are going to slap whoever they're playing. I say whoever they're playing. We can click the button and see who they're playing very quickly. Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. Do they need to rush Yamal back for that? Absolutely not. So no, not my team for match day 1. So Vinny Jr. is a potential player for 10 million. So is Ousmane Dembele. And as we're talking about a Frenchman, I'll talk about another Frenchman, Michael Olise. People might be surprised to see him so low down in my expected points model. You see, the problem with the French is, well, the problem with the French is they eat snails and frogs' legs for a start. But the problem with the French national team is from a fantasy perspective, is they've got too many good players. Let's have a little look at their squad. Remember, there's only one ball, and they're going to have a front 4 of Dembele, probably Dure, Mbappe, Olise, and then look at the players on the bench. Mateta, Barcola, Cherki, Thuram, Akliouche. There's only one ball. There's too many good players, and it's not like these very good players on the bench are just going to stay on the bench. And yeah, Mbappe is on pens. He is the best attacker for France, obviously. But for the reasons I've just stated, it's why Dembele, Olise are ranked further, are lowly ranked. That's why I'm not having Olise in my team. Other people to consider. Valverde, maybe not so good at the punch-ups in the dressing room, but he's a good player for Uruguay. Talisman for them. They've got a couple of good fixtures to start with. Quite cheap. Better options, though, than him. I could say the same about Luis Diaz. De Bruyne is a good player, but he's not the player he was. He is on pens, and injury concerns over him. He got injured taking a penalty. So if you get injured taking a penalty, you've got injury concerns. Kevin De Bruyne, Yamal, and Pablo Dybala Dybala? Dybala? I don't think I'm saying that right. But those three players have all got injured this season, taking a penalty. All got injury concerns, a lot of them. I think I've said everything I want to say about midfielders. Yep, let's move on to forwards. And we scroll to the top. The absolute obvious pick is, I'm going to butcher his name, warning, Mikel Olazabal. That didn't sound right, did it? Olazabal? Great with the numbers. Words? Nah, rubbish. You've got to have him in your team because Yamal's not going to play. He's going to be on pens. He's playing up front. Spain have got great fixtures. It's just obvious. Why is that figure not higher? Because there's a lot of casual managers playing. That's why, isn't it? Cristiano Ronaldo. Yep. Bit of a shock. Bit of a shock. He is 40. I've mentioned that 40-year-olds get injured just getting out of bed in the morning. Not this boy. He takes getting out of bed very seriously, as well as scoring goals. Portugal have got a great team, a fantastic team, and they have got fantastic fixtures. Where are they? They are right there. Congo and Uzbekistan. So you could say that Ronaldo is past it. He's 40 years old. He doesn't run about that much, but against Congo and Uzbekistan, he just needs to stand in the penalty belt area near there, gets the ball, he's going to have a shot. He's on pens. Fantastic fixtures. And that's why he's probably in my team. Right now, my plan is I'm going to start with Haaland in match day 1. I like him for Iraq, against Iraq, and then I'm penciling in a transfer to get him out for Mbappe for match day 2. Let's remind ourselves of who France are playing in match day 2. They are playing Iraq. They're in the same group, aren't they? So sorry to my friends in Iraq. I know I've got friends all over the world. Iraq, I've got fans in there. I'm targeting your football team though. I'm sorry about that. You're probably not bothered about that. You've got bigger considerations and some knobhead on the internet talking about fantasy football. Jonathan David, I like him. To be honest, I am wary. I've got a general rule of thumb. We're going away from fantasy football. I'm wary of people who have a surname and a first name, who have a surname which could be a first name. Jonathan David, Michael Owen, there's another wrong one. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any more. I'm sure you can right now. If I could pause it, I could think of some more. But Michael Owen is the one that springs to mind. You can tell I'm a Newcastle United fan. Michael Owen. Yeah, I better not say anything about it. But Jonathan David, I quite like him. Canada, I've got a couple of good fixtures. He's the talisman. He's on penalties. Messi, you've heard of him. He's a good player. I'm not going to have him for the first 2 games. A couple of tricky games to start with. I won a wild card. I might have him in there if he's expected to play. Torres is a nice differential because of the injuries to Yamal and Nico Williams. He's under the threshold. He is a good consideration, as is Havertz. Problem is, there's plenty of good Germans to choose from for the first fixture. And I'd rather put my 12th man on Vinicius Jr. in the second game than Kai Havertz in the first. Spoke about Haaland. You know, he's good at kicking the ball in the net. And I think I'll finally end with talking about these 2 chaps. Lowly owned, good options. Yeah, decent options, but, you know, the big hitters are right here. And I think that's everything that I want to talk about. So let's have a little look at my team, the way it's set up right now. I haven't really, you know, you can change captains every day. I'm not like setting my team up to think, right, I'll have all these different captains on all these days and then I'll twist it on this day. I've picked the best team, and the way it comes out, like every team, I've got plenty of captaincy options. So I'll put it on Swiss player. I've got a Swiss player. Played on a German on the 14th. Also twist to Rafinha. But, you know, just plenty of good options. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about getting as many good captaincy choices over the course of the game week. Don't worry about that. Just pick the best team. You just copy mate, to be honest with you. You still have a great team, still better than your casual manager mate who doesn't even know who Galindez is. I think I've said everything I want to say. So thank you very much for watching. It's been long, but I feel this has been a really good video. Don't you think? Yeah, deserves a like, a thumbs up, follow, and all that good stuff. Thank you.